Shalom. Call halal YAHAWAH BAHASHAM YAHAWASHI BAHASHAM QADASH. Double honors unto the apostles and the elders who rule well, who taught me this truth. Enough respect and salutations to the fellow Akim, the house of David, the hopefully elect. Peace to the elect. YAHAWAH BAHASHAM YAHAWASHI. Barakatham to you, Akim, as well as the Agwath that's listening and learning. This is your brother Yahawah from the Birmingham branch coming to you again with his 100% doctrine. And yeah, today's lesson is going to be entitled Court Talk, the Plea. And here it is. This devil is making his appeal, his plea, all right, to a higher court. He's praying and making his appeal to the left-hand side that he can continue on, all right, with this rulership, with this evil and deceivable rulership that he's, all right, that cornered off the market, seized control of the assets, the jewels and of the earth, and now he wants to what? Seize control over the inhabitants of the world. Got this article queued up by NBC News. We're going to get right into it. We got some precepts lined up. Lord willing, this is edifying and comfort. It says, NIH director asks Americans to leave conspiracy theories behind on vaccines and look at the facts. Facts of what? All right. It says, one of the nation's top health experts says reasonable people would look at the public data on vaccines and say, I want this for my family. And this is what this devil is actually telling you. To don't adhere to the noise, the tumult that is being made, all right, by the inhabitants of the world. Let alone don't listen to these conspiracy theories, which is not conspiracies, all right? What we bring to the table is simply truth. It's simply an indictment on your laws, on your policies, on you yourself. All right, you are the culprit and you're being found out and you're being revealed. And this is what is taking place. It says Dr. Francis Collins, which I wouldn't even trust a man named Francis, the director of National Institutes of Health, made a direct appeal to American Sunday to hit the reset button on skepticism of approved Crown Victoria 19 vaccines. Now, we're going to look up this word appeal, all right, because the only reset button you're going to get is by the way of these nuclear missiles, man. All right, this is appeal, ask urgently, earnestly, implore, make serious or urgent requests, typically to the public. Check number 2 out. Apply to a higher court for a reversal of the decision of a lower court. Here it is. We're spitting out fire. We're consuming this devil, all right, with the fire of the scriptures, man. That's how dragons, all right, what they breathe fire, man. All right. And we're fighting against this beast. This is a spiritual battle. And the men that's on the front line, all right, fervent, meek, long-suffering, we're the ones, all right, Lord willing, will reap the benefit, get the reward. But this devil is applying to a higher court for reversal of the decision of a lower court. The decision has already been made, okay? When you go back to Genesis, the decision was made that you will be cut off. You're cursed, you're an abomination. All right? It was said to Rebecca, that the older would serve the younger, man. That's the decision that the prophets and the elders have came up with through the spirit and powers of BAHASHAM YAHAWASHI just by reading the scriptures and the Lord dealing with you, This is court talk again. It says stressing that the independent nature of the approval process and the strong safety measures that should give the public confidence. Confidence on what, man? In an interview on Meet the Press, Collins said that mistrust of vaccine continues to be a source of great concern to public health officials insisting that anyone who wants to look at the facts surrounding the vaccine's development, testing, and safety record should be very reassured. What assurance are you giving the people? That they might get the palsy? That they might all of a sudden die? All right, here it is. Let alone you're making people and individuals wear masks and 6 foot apart. Nevertheless, you don't even know this own device of yours could work. And this is why these CEOs are stepping out of the way to let you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans step up to the front. After all that, check this out. Quote, I would like to plead to people who are listening to this morning to really hit the reset button on whatever they think they knew about the vaccine that might cause them to be skeptical. The data is out there now, he said. Well, let's look up that word plead. We already looked at appeal, right? It comes under the same banner, beg claim, making the emotional appeal. All right, check this out. Number 2, present and argue for a position, especially in court or in another public context. Yeah, he want to continue to be the harbinger of death. He want to hold his position down, you know. But you was just a hireling for your day, Mr. Francis. All right. What happened to Fauci? Where's Bill Gates in these days, man? All right. See, these plans are coming to naught, man. We're going to get to the scriptures. The book of additions to Esther, chapter 4, starting at verse 3. Now, when I asked my counselors how this might be brought to pass, Amen, which is Haman, in the in the book of Esther, that excelled in wisdom among us and was approved for his constant goodwill and steadfast fidelity, and had the honor of the second place in the kingdom, declared unto us what he said, that in all nations throughout the world now, there was a certain malicious people that had laws contrary to all nations. Who you think these people talking about? And continually despised the commandments of kings, so as the uniting of our kingdoms honorably intended by us cannot go forward. So this devil says within his heart, all right, mourning for my fathers at hand, then I would slay my brother Jacob, roughly paraphrased. Right? Genesis 27 and 41. Now here it is, we have laws that's contrary to all nations, such as putting a homo to death, putting adultery and the corporate to death, dragging your son out or your daughter out that's disobedient in the middle of the city. All right, and if they don't hearken to the words of the parents, what? We stone them to death so it won't happen again. These are the laws, all right, that are righteous and just in the Lord's eyes, and so are in the men's Lord's eyes, the men of the Lord's eyes. All right, we despise the King commandments. All right, when the wicked are in authority, the people mourn. So here it is, they know that they can't go forward with their new world order. Let's continue. Seeing then we understand that this people alone is continuing in opposition unto all men. Well, you are opposition, all right, to the laws and statutes of BAHASHAM, YAHAWASHI. You actually cast them behind your back. Different in the strange manner of their laws. Again, we don't celebrate LGBTQ. We don't celebrate pagan-ass holidays, these frivolous folly, myrrh holidays, man. You know, these people in America are holding up all the customs of these ancient nations. It says, an evil affected toward our estate, working all mischief they can, that our kingdom may not be firmly established. And this is what's taking place, man. It's really that hourglass that YAHAWASHAM, YAHAWASHI has in the sand in it is running out, man. All right, the tides is turning, man. You know? Continuing on, therefore we have commanded that all they that are signified in writing unto you by Amen, who is ordained over the affairs, and is next unto us, shall all, with their wives and children, be utterly destroyed by the sword of their enemies. And the sword doesn't have to necessarily come in the form of artillery, of weaponry. All right? These devils has waged war against Israel, and this is the beginning of the wars. The jostling back and forth, the talking back and forth, the presenting your case. All right? You have the DAs, you have the prosecutors, you have the victim, you have the defendant. You ultimately have the judge, man, and we're presenting our case. These people want to come down on us hard because they know Revelation 12 and 12, they have but that short time. It says, without all mercy and pity, the 14th day of the 12th month, Adar of this present year. So if we're speaking in modern terms, we're in December. What was yesterday? Or day before yesterday, Monday. It was the December 14th, right? What happened on December 14th? Here you go. You have Eve getting inoculated in the public eye. You know? Well, this ain't no coincidence, man. All right? Verse 7, that they who of old and now also are malicious may in one day with violence go into the grave, and so ever hereafter cause our affairs to be well settled and without trouble. And this is what they intended, to settle their new world order without any trouble, without any backlash, without any barking. But it's a noise being made. And at the sound of this noise, all nations are going to come to battle, because that's what the deal is. You're dealing with Esau and you're dealing with Jacob. You're dealing with the nation of Edom, and you're dealing with the nation of Israel. And check this guy out. None of these guys, man. I wouldn't trust these guys to bag my groceries, man. Let alone write their own name. You know? Let's get here. Quote, there have been few, if any, vaccines that have ever been subjected to this level of scrutiny. If you want to look at the facts, I think you should be very reassured, Collins said. What facts? Do you want to look at history? See, when we present our case to you, we're presenting our cause. You look at the Tuskegee experiment. You can look at the Guatemalans after that was exposed. You look at the Puerto Ricans after that was exposed. All right. You look at these certain vaccines that you must get before your child go to public schools. And here it is. You have some of our people fall into the palsy. So where are the facts at, Dr. Francis? Put aside all the noise. Yeah. All of the skepticism that is born of potential interference from some source or another. What noise? We have to make noise to hear our cry heard. All right. And those of you who are not making noise, you're simply with it. A sound, VIP. Let's get it. A sound, especially one that is loud or unpleasant or that causes disturbance. A series of combination of loud, confused sounds, because it's confusing to you. You got men that's out there on the highways and hedges with Bibles, man. So-called Negroes, Latinos, man. Native Americans out there with Bibles, man. All right? And you're thinking that's calling a disturbance in your kingdom, man. Well, guess what? When YAHAWASHI was born, hey, he caused the same interference to Herod's kingdom. How much more now, man? You know? Let's get that in Job. The book of Job, chapter 15 and 21. It says, a dreadful sound is in his ears. In prosperity, the destroyer shall come upon him, man. That's right. He's going to come up on you with the brightness of his coming, and he's not going to meet you as a man. All right? He's going to be unlike he was 2,000 years ago when Joseph and Mary had to flee, man. You know? Because you ordered all the males 2 and younger to be killed, to be murdered on your hands. These are the same individuals back today. You know? So who is he talking about? The skepticism that is born of potential interference from some source or another. You only have certain men, certain remnants out there speaking his truth, man. You know? It said it's going to, quote, it's going to depend on the American public quite a bit in terms of whether people are willing to take part in this immunization plan. This is not an immunization plan, all right? This is a depopulation plan. And if you don't action of making a person or animal immune to infection, typically by inoculation. You see that? Here it is. You got the nigger woman, Eve, first in line for that immunization, man. Which we'll find out, all right, in weeks to come, what happened to these people, man. All right. And it's already been said, man. All right, I ain't gonna say it, but hey, it's already been said that this damn inoculation ain't hidden right. None of them are. They don't know shit. And it proves it in this article. Okay? It says, and he noted that while it's clear the vaccine provides people with strong protection from a symptomatic Crown Victoria infection, scientists still need what? Hold on. Scientists still need a few more months to learn whether a vaccinated individual could still spread the infection to others without knowing they have it. You damn dummies, man. Hey, you all are physicians of no value, man. You know? You don't even know if it's going to work. You don't even know if this person, all right, is going to spread a supposed pandemic to another person that's not infected. What happened to the cold? What happened to HIV? What happened to STDs? What happened to cancer? What happened to gunshot wounds? You mean to tell me that none of these people die by their injuries? Nobody is dying from a lack of chemo. No one is dying from failed lungs or kidney disease. They only dying off COVID. Think about it. Let's get some scriptures. We'll come back. Second Thessalonians 2, verse 8. And then shall that wicked be revealed, whom the Lord shall consume with the spirit of his mouth. You see that? And shall destroy with the brightness of his coming, man. See, that wicked is being revealed. And right here in this one verse, you have 3 major prophecies taking place, man. And one to come. 2 major prophecies taking place and one to come. The first one being the son of perdition, all right, is being revealed. The second one is the Lord is consuming, all right, these devils with the spirit of his mouth by the way of his prophets, starting with the elders and the apostles of Great Millstone. These are 2 major prophecies that are taking place right before your eyes. The third one, and shall destroy with the brightness of his coming. He's not going to meet you as a man. Verse 9, even him who's coming is after the working of Satan with all power and signs and lying wonders. If you could put a chip in a human being and make a paraplegic walk again, you the fucking devil. If you can make a blind man see, a deaf woman hear by implementing the chip, you the fucking devil. Who has the working of such? Who has the power to produce lying wonders? Esau, Edom, man. This ain't no joke, man. This is some heavy information. All right? By the way of the scripture and by the way of the prophecies unfolded, man. Additions of Esther 2, verse 5. Behold, a noise, what? A noise of a tumult with thunder and earthquakes and uproar in the land. Yeah, when you should see these things, all right, be well. The kingdom is nigh. When you see uproars of the land, people, insurrection among individuals, All right, invading one another, the thunder, the earthquakes, the noise. What he said? Let's go back to it. He said, "Put aside all the noise." This is what he said. This is what he said. Quote: "Put aside all the noise." Yeah, all of the skepticism that is born of potential interference from some source or another. Well, the scriptures doesn't say that. We got that definition. Noise, an unpleasant sound. It's a dreadful sound in this damn devil's ear, man. It says, "And behold, two great dragons came forth ready to fight." And this is what it is. He's presenting his case. We're presenting our case. He has a case on 2/3 of Israel, but on the 1/3 of the elect, he has no case. He has no evidence. He will find no guile. He can't present any evidence to the judge. Now, on our hand, we ready to fight. We're fighting in this spiritual war. We're presenting our cause. And their cry was great. Yeah, continue. And at their cry, all nations were prepared to battle, that they might fight against the righteous people. Pop quiz. Who is the righteous people? Are the righteous people trying to inoculate the inhabitants of the world? Come on, man. Let's go back to this article. He already gave you his analysis. All right. Scientists still need a few more months to learn whether the inoculated individual could still spread. No, you trying to learn in a few months if these people are going to drop dead or not, man. Here it is. Don't play no fucking games, man. That's why Collins said masks will still need to be an essential part of American life for many more months. Now, hold on. I thought this was a global pandemic. Why are you singling out Americans? This is how you know their enterprise is not going to be topped off with that Crown Victoria, man. Because they're stumbling and fumbling on their lives. All right, they're falling down. They're grabbing people with them. They're trying to get back up. They woozy. They dizzy. They see stars around their head. All right. BAHASHAM YAHAWASHI gave you a surgical strike, man. You know, with the prophets on the highways and hedges, and there's nothing you could do about it. How about that? Masks are still going to be a part of our life. We need to recognize that and not step away or drop our guard. That sounds like lawyer talk. All right, that sounds like the defendant is trying to get out of, all right, what he's been found on, what he's been found guilty on. You know, it says, check this out. We've got to absolutely double down on all things, the things Americans can do to save lives. Why now? Why don't you take the guns off the street? Why don't you mandate put forth your military, your teeth, and take all firearms out of people's houses, man? How about that? Which I'm sure you thought about it, but that goes against your Constitution. But you want to save lives. How about stop going to these other countries and bombing them for their resources? But you want to save lives. It says, and look at the lives that we have lost and the tragedy that is there. What tragedy? People die every day, B. Fuck you mean tragedy, man? Death is a part of life. Death is a part of what's taking place here in America, man. But even before the pandemic. It says, if we have a chance to make these next few months, check this lingo out, which otherwise could be very dark. Hold on. Let's continue. Addition to Esther 2, verse 8. And lo, a day of darkness. Wow. Hey, man. Let's continue. a day of darkness and obscurity, tribulation and anguish, affliction and great uproar upon the earth. If we have a chance to make these next few months, which otherwise could be very dark, just a little bit better, why wouldn't we do that? Who you presenting your case to, Esau? The left-hand side. And again, I wouldn't trust this devil to write his name. He done took on the identity of all these other nations. Now here it is, he trying to give you a helping hand. And you can go check this article out. You know, I tried to upload it earlier, you know, do a lesson on it earlier. Apparently there wasn't no sound, man. So we're going to finish off in the verse 9. It says, and the whole righteous nation was troubled, fearing their own evils, and were ready to perish. Then they cried unto, see? Then they cried. Who is the they? The remnant, man. All right? All of Israel are not going to cry. The only ones that are crying out are the ones that seeing this devil coming with a jab. And even before then. And upon their cry, as it were from a little fountain, was made a great flood, even much water. You see that? See, these devils are gonna come down like the waves of the sea, man. And check this out. The light and the sun rose up, and the lowly were exalted, and devoured the glorious. You see that? What is that light? What is that sun rising up? That's that new day. That's that morning. We can go back to it. Matter of fact, it's here too. And then shall that wicked be revealed, 2 Thessalonians 2:8, whom the Lord shall consume with the spirit of his mouth, and shall destroy with the brightness of his coming. Back in Job 15:21, a dreadful sound is in his ears. In prosperity the destroyer shall come up on him. And this is what you have taking place, man. Confused chaos is running through these devils' mind, man. He hadn't had any sleep for 12 weeks, man. Going on 13. We're going to continue to push this prophecy. Push the testimony of YAHAWASHI, man. All right. And in that book of addition to Esther, all right, Mordecai was labeled one of the dragons, and Haman was labeled one of the dragons. Those are the two great dragons, which goes back to Esau and Edom. Mordecai represents Israel. Haman represents Esau, Edom, man. Those are the two main pieces, all right, in court. Those are the main players. So with that, this has been Court Talk. I rest my case for now. On to the next one. Shalom.